Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Huge news today. 6 brand new Dragon Ruler cards. This is pretty unprecedented, but it's pretty cool. I really like the timing on this. I feel like Konami sometimes lags on stuff like this, but if you haven't been paying attention, pretty recently, I think on their ban list, Dragon Rulers have come off their list, and literally 2 days ago, we got our newest ban list, which had all of the Dragon Rulers officially coming off the ban list. So this is perfect timing. I love this. While it still feels fresh and hype, that like they're coming off, but they're not that impactful. Give them a new wave. Let's see how they do. Very cool though. But we're actually diving into light and dark versions of Dragon Ruler. So let's see how they go. This is Spectre, Dragon Ruler of Auroras. I'll be honest, this is my favorite baby dragon for sure. Maybe him or Pebbles. But we'll see. But yeah, love the design on that. I'm not really a big dragon guy, but this is a cool dragon. All right, level 2 light dragon, 600 attack, 1000 defense, and you can only use one of the first and second effects of this card once per turn, and only once that turn. So kind of in classic Dragon Ruler fashion, you can only use one of its effects per turn, not both. You can discard this card and one other light or dragon monster. That's pretty common for them. Add 2 Dragon Ruler monsters from your deck to your hand. Ooh, okay. I mean, listen, this is a good effect. It is a little bit dicey though, and that's kind of a theme with Dragon Rulers as well, is that like because of cards like Ash Blossom and I guess Dominus Purge is probably another one at this point. These effects are dicey just because you are tossing 2 cards from hand as cost. So pretty dicey into those negations, but still, pitch 2, search 2, and then those 2 engrave are probably getting banished for, you know what I mean, whatever you're searching, and then you're probably plussing overall. So I still think that's pretty good. Searching 2 is good, even if it's costly. Second effect, you can banish this card and one other light or dark dragon monster from your... light or dragon monster, not light or dark, from your graveyard. Then target one... Chasmatis, Dragon Ruler of Poles. I'm going to assume that's one of the Xyz monsters shown below. In your graveyard, special summon it. So it gets him back from grave. Cool. That seems pretty good. It's a good follow-up effect here. Again, you can only use one of these effects per turn. You can't do both in the same turn, but still pretty good stuff overall. Nice consistency card here, but we'll have to see if they actually have a full-on game plan. All right, next up we have our Dark Dragon. This is Nebulous, Dragon Ruler of Darknesses. Again, like him. I like the tiny Dragon Rulers. I just don't like the big ones as much. Level 2 Dark Dragon, 1000 attack, 600 defense. You can only use one of its 2 effects per turn and only once that turn. So again, can't use both in the same turn. First effect reads, you can discard this card and one other dark or dragon monster, then target 2 of your banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes. Special summon them, but they cannot attack this turn. Special summon them. Just pull them right on out. That's pretty dang strong. Okay. So I'm wondering, even with just like Spectre, if you use Spectre, discard another Dragon Ruler with a different attribute to search this guy and something else, you can potentially use this guy pretty well. I guess you'd want to, if you have any other Dragon Ruler that can just banish the 2 that you just discarded from grave, you would then be able to use this guy to, do your thing and then get both the monsters back that you just banished there. Cool. Not a starter, but like a pretty powerful extender if we're banishing them pretty easily. Okay, and it is Dragon Ruler specifically, so it's not, it doesn't extend to, other generic things like just dragons or dark monsters, but still pretty cool. Second effect, you can banish this card and one other dark or dragon monster from your grave, then target one Eclipsis, Dragon Ruler of Calamities in your graveyard, special summon it. Again, I'm assuming that's one of the Xyz monsters down below. Pretty cool. I think probably Spectre's obviously better overall, but that's just because the deck doesn't really have starters. It didn't really have a game plan for modern day Yu-Gi-Oh, but he's the better starter, but this one definitely has some power as an extender for sure. All right, cool. Next up, we move to Chasmatis, the Dragon Ruler of Poles. This vibes with our light guy down or up above. This is a rank 7 light dragon, 3000 attack, 1600 defense. It does take any 2 level 7 dragon monsters. This is interesting to note. When I saw what these were and I was waiting for them to get translated, I was already wondering, I was like, oh my gosh, are these going to be generic rank 7s and like Kashtira is going to be a piece of this deck, but it is locked to dragons. Cool. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. Quick effect, you can send one level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your deck to the graveyard and detach a material from this card as cost. You are dumping of Dragon Ruler as cost, which is really nice. This effect becomes that sent monster's effect that activates by discarding itself. Whoa, this effect is so plus. Holy. So basically you're getting the effect of the monster you send, except you don't have to send the extra card, because I believe all the Dragon Rulers, when they do their discard effects, you, again, just like the ones above, you have to discard another card with them. So you don't have to give up the like hand advantage. You just get the payoff from the effect, and you're just getting them engraved, which again, all of them can just like banish 2 dragons or monsters of their same attribute to summon back. So they're probably getting a level 7 extender plus a plus the effect. That's really good, and it's a quick effect too. Does that mean? Oh, that means Blaster, right? This, because I believe Blaster is the one that just pops a card. Is it the Water Titles, the one that Foolish is? The Rock one just Reborns, and the Wind one, I can't remember what the Wind one does, but I never played Dragon Lore, so bear with me here. It's pretty cool. That's a really good utility. That's really cool. This is, I'm assuming this is the first one you're trying to make from the Xyz. If this card is destroyed by battle, or this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, so destruction based, you can special summon level 7 Dragon Ruler from grave or banishment. Sure, it's a fine float. It's not a super impactful float, I'll be honest, but still, it's also 3,000 for rank 7, so really big, and just does some pretty good effects. Like, you can even just summon this, use the first effect to like be an engine piece, and then the second effect to be like dump a blaster, and it's also just a walking trident that gets you more follow-up later on. That's cool. It's a good card. All right, next up here we move to Eclipsis, Dragon Ruler of Calamities. This is our big form of Nebulous. Very cool. Rank 7 Dark Dragon, 2,700, 1,900. Again, solid stats. 2 level 7 dragons. Again, like that this is being locked into dragons. Not like there's not too many great like basic level 7 dragon extenders. I did take a quick look at that as well. I think maybe one of your options could be like Red Eyes Black Dragon plus like the Primite engine potentially, just for the level 7 extension bodies for dragons. There's really not a ton of great just generic level 7 extenders for, you know, dragons, but still. All right, anyway, if this card is Xyz summoned, you can target one level 4 or lower Dragon Rule in your grave or banish. Special summon one level 7 /rank 7 Dragon Ruler mentioned on it from your deck or banishment, then shuffle that target into the deck. Okay, so it can summon a rank, but you're talking about summoning a rank back from banishment, I guess, because if it's a rank, you wouldn't be able to summon from deck. It doesn't say extra deck, so I'm assuming that's specifically talking about banish. Like if you had already summoned this guy, got him, sent him to grave, banish him for another Dragon Ruler, and then you're trying to summon him back, I guess. That's cool. I'm guessing more often than not, you're trying to just get the big form of a baby Dragon Ruler. But that's cool. This is a card that just helps you get, once you've got the materials kind of out there, you're just trying to get the level 7 body to get into your good rank 7s here, because we still have one more rank 7 to get to. That's pretty cool. Second effect, when your opponent activates a spell, trap, or effect, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card and negate that activation. If you do, banish that card. Okay. So spell and trap negate. This one's basically a Dryden, because you can always just send Blaster. I think, if I'm not mistaken, with some extra utility, right? Can be a Reborn, can be a Foolish for any monster in your deck, I'm pretty sure. And I can't remember what the last one does, what Tempest does, but still cool. All right, very cool. And then this one's a spell and trap negate, so cool. You can make both of those, like, we're already talking. All right, Disaster, Dragon Ruler of Extremes, our final guy here. This guy does not seem to be specifically linked to any of the attributes. He is light, but I'm not sure he really corresponds with Spectre up above, so we'll see. Rank 7 Light Dragon, 0 attack, 0 defense. He does take 2... Oh, here we go. See, this is where the spice. If I read this too quickly, I would have missed this. This guy does take 2 rank 7 monsters, not level 7, so it is not generic for stuff like Cash. I mean, I guess it is, but like that's a lot of material you're asking for. So I guess the goal is like, are you making both of the ones above and then you're putting them into this guy? It means this guy has to be pretty strong to be worth it. All right, you can only use the first effect once per turn. If this card is XYZ summoned, you can target up to 4 level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters in your graveyard and or banishment. Attach them to this card as material. Then you can banish all monsters your opponent controls and in their graveyards with the same attributes as the monsters attached to this card. I mean, that's a pretty strong payoff. Do we have a quick effect way to make this card? Not necessarily. No, because it's Xyz summon. And unless this card gets like unless the Xyz before gets retranslated to say that you can pull a Dragon Ruler out of extra deck and not just deck or banishment, then you don't have the greatest ways to make this on the opponent's turn, but like still interesting. Okay. That's still powerful. I mean, like, if you're playing a pure Dragon Ruler deck where you're, like, getting all the materials basically in rotation, or a lot of them, especially the ones that are impactful in the metagame, in recent formats that you have just done, if you had just gotten, like, the Dark or the Fire one in rotation, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. But, yeah. Second effect of this card has Light, Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind. Excuse me. Dragon Ruler monsters as material. So now all 6 attributes. It gains 4,600 attack and defense. Also, it's unaffected by other card effects. So this, to me, probably isn't the most realistic card. I'm wondering how easy you can even make this, or if it's even worth it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's kind of like a kill your opponent kind of card, where it's like, once you've made this turn one, you have some interruption, you have some follow-up. If these cards survive until your next turn, you can just basically, if you have everything in rotation, plop a 4,600 beater that's also wiping like all your opponent's stuff out of the game, basically, from field and banish, or field and grave, which is cool. All right, and then we finish up with one quick play spell. I don't really think the deck has any way to like search any spells or traps. I don't think the archetype even has any spells or traps to this point, but let's see. This is Dragon Catastrophe. It's a quick play spell. You can only use one of its 2 effects once per turn. So classic Dragon Ruler fashion. First effect, special 1 Dragon Ruler monster from your hand, graveyard, or banishment. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can Xyz summon 1 Dragon Ruler monster using only Dragon Ruler monsters you control as material. So you still have to make an XYZ Dragon Ruler. And it does have to be one of the new Dragon Rulers. Okay. But you're getting half the material for it, and then you're immediately going into something, which is cool. Second effect, during your main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, then target any number of your banished Dragon Rulers with different attributes, return them to the graveyard. That's really good, man. That's any number. That's really strong. You can't really search this card, I don't think, but that's still pretty good to be like an auto 3 of like really good extender. Okay, what do we have here? This is really cool. So as far as making stuff on the opponent's turn, being able to like either going second, or not even going second, use it as an extender the turn you draw it, or being able to set it as interaction to be able to, if you ended on any level 7s, being able to summon it and go in. Also, this doesn't even say level, I don't think. Yeah, it's just summon any Dragon Ruler. So even if you've gone through this guy or this guy, if you already have one on field, you could reborn the other, and then immediately Xyz into this guy. So maybe that's a card that does allow this guy to be a little bit better. Again, not super searchable, so I don't know how consistently we can set that up, but or if it'll be optimal to play him anyway, but still interesting to note, just synergistically there. All in all, cool stuff. I mean, Dragon Rulers before my time playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, so I don't really have the most to really say about it. I've never really messed around with them, but this is cool. This is some cool stuff. I mean, it is. Maybe there will be some generic, other engines you can play to try and just get the level 7 dragons on the field to try and facilitate these cards, which is nice. And other than that, I think it's just pretty good. Nothing crazy. Like, nothing that I feel like is blowing me away. But, like, there's a world where, like, these Dragon Link can use some of these cards and they're actually somewhat decent. But we'll obviously have to wait and see for more on that. But, yeah. Other than that, let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I really don't know exactly. I mean, I do think something like Spectre in an all-light or an all-dragon deck could be super interesting, because now he is giving you access to any Dragon Ruler you want. So now you have like boosted consistency, and he's potentially searching 2 Dragon Rulers. So, you know what I mean? I don't know how big of a package you'd want to play in any given deck, but like it is still interesting. Especially for dragons, right? Because all of them work with dragons no matter what. They just other than after that, you have to start looking at attributes, and those get a little more specific, but still pretty cool to see. Very cool. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, I have not really played much with Dragon Rulers, hardly ever in my entire Yu-Gi-Oh tenure, but let me know your guys' thoughts down below. If you guys do play them, you guys do know more about them, and you're kind of looking at these cards with a different scope than me, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how good you actually think they can be, either as a package or as a full-on deck going forward. I'd love to hear it down below. So throw that down there. Thank you so much for watching, as always, guys. Should still be getting more Alliance Insight reveals throughout the rest of the week. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel. I'll bring you a video every time new stuff gets revealed. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.